chipper 620, but you know, regardless of weather conditions, right, it's still a perfect day for a lift. Unless for whatever reason you have like an outdoor gym, you know, rain or shine, right, you got that ideally temperature controlled space, but I guess not always. There's a couple of gyms I go to and it doesn't even, I don't know how they do it, because it feels like a normal temperature, but as soon as I get my lift started, I'm like just fucking drenched. But yeah, for the most part, rain or shine, come on, get up, go to the gym. That's how it should be, at least. I've definitely noticed that sometimes I can sort of, I don't want to say it's like a sixth sense thing, because it's kind of just like pattern recognition, but I can almost predict whether or not the gym is going to be packed or empty based on whether or not it's like nice out or if it's rainy and snowy, whatever. But sometimes it kind of goes against my prediction, so it's not 100% accurate. Like, just, I think it was, yeah, this last winter, we had some pretty serious snowstorms. But luckily, the gym that I'm going to now, they didn't close down. The Planet Fitness did, and every other gym did, but the Y was, they opened their ass up. That was sick. But, you know, it was like, me and my brother went, and the drive is normally maybe 15 minutes, not even, maybe like 5 minutes. But with all the snow on the road, and like it was all unplowed, we were driving for probably 30 just because of how slow we had to go. But no, that was still a good lift. I could definitely understand the logic, right? If it's kind of gloomy out, you might not be so inclined to want to go. Plus, I mean, at my school's gym, all the people going there are just fucking students, so they're not going to drive, they're just going to walk. So if it's kind of muggy out, you know, it's not really a surprise to me that the weight room ends up being a little emptier than normal. But don't let that stop you. Come on, get real. So plan for legs is going to be, I mean, the same as normal. If you've seen more than 2 of these leg day videos, then you could probably predict what I'm about to say. Right? Hamstrings is going to be a variety of laying hamstring curls. Actually, probably just laying. The seated hamstring curl at this gym, I don't really love it. Like, something about the angle, it just kind of doesn't do it for me. But the laying curl here is sick, so I might just spam the laying curl, and I could do some sets where it's like, you know, the whole stack for 15 or 20, really just try to move around as much weight as possible. Or, you know, I might do a few sets where it's like half the stack, I'm going slow, really squeezing and getting more of a burning sensation, right? Those are pretty much like the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of like your basic style of set. And I think doing a combination of both is good, right? If I like tweak my shit, let's say for, you know, ideally this will never happen, but let's say I kind of tweak my chest or something and I can't go heavy, but I can still do light cable presses, right? And I can like squeeze and get kind of a burn, and I can tell I'm not like flaring up the area, you know, while I'm sort of in recovery. I don't mind doing those light sets just to get back into it until I can really work up to legit weight. But if I'm feeling strong and fresh and, you know, unencumbered, you know, your muscles are meant to move around some weight. So I think you should probably, don't push the envelope too much, right? We're not powerlifting here, but, you know, going as heavy as you can for a set of 10, 8, when you feel, you know, comfortable doing it. I think that's going to do your hamstrings or whatever else some good. So once hamstrings are fully pumped up, I mean, get excited for leg extensions. That's going to be the majority of the lift, because I'm not going to squat. I'm going to start doing some more adductor work, so we can sit in the adductor machine at the end of the lift too. But I could foresee leg extensions, obviously, but then maybe some drop sets into some sissy squats, potentially some single leg press on a, I don't like, well, it's been a while since I've done it, so maybe I would like it, but I don't want to do the leg press that's plate loaded. I do like the leg press where it's like a weight stack with a pin, right? Something about the strength curve, I do like that. So maybe I'll do some single leg there, but really I'm just kind of making some predictions, right? This isn't exactly what I'm gonna do, because I'm basically gonna, like, when I go in for any lift, I've got this basic plan of, okay, I want to do some heavy sets, maybe move on to some lighter sets, or, you know, with a muscle like chest, I know I want to start with heavy pressing and then finish with like more squeezing fly based movements. Triceps, maybe I want to start off with heavy pushdowns and then finish with lighter single arm pushdowns, you know, shit like that. But, you know, I don't remember the last time I've gone in and had my whole workout planned in my mind and then followed that routine to a T. You know, if I do 2 sets of incline bench and then I kind of think to myself, oh, I don't really love how this feels right now. I don't really feel like I guess in my mind I sort of have a checklist where I'm like, okay, do I feel strong in this movement? Am I getting a good contraction on this movement? Am I getting pumped on this movement? And then just overall, maybe in a subjective sense, like, do I even like doing this right now? You know, no. If all those answers kind of add up to no, you know, I'll move on to just some incline Smith or incline dumbbell or some, you know, hammer strength press. Right? It's, I'm not saying that's the best way to go about it, but that's just kind of how I've been liking it. You know, if you're more of a beginner, then it's probably going to be in your best interest to kind of get a routine, make sure you get experience doing all sorts of different lifts, because that's what you really want to do as a beginner, just to get comfortable, maybe start to develop some mind-muscle connection, right? But, you know, apart from that, once you've kind of lifted for long enough, I think it's going to be in your best interest to gradually be able to make on-the-fly adjustments to each lift, depending on how you feel in the moment. Plus, you know, I think that's probably going to be good injury-wise, because if I do, you know, I've gone through periods for incline bench. I know this is supposed to be a leg day, and I'm talking all about chest, but I've gone through periods where like I've like totally tweaked my shoulder, like it's all the reps are real crunchy, and every time I've ever like tweaked my rotator cuff, I always kind of had a little bit of a feeling beforehand, but I guess I didn't listen to it. So enough of this little chat. I can already feel the beta-alanine tingles, so the citrulline and nitric oxide, whatever, that's definitely pumping through me now too. So let's just get this leg pump started. All right, so pre-hamstrings, you know, I really don't have to do anything crazy. I did a little bit of single leg calf raises on the machine leg press, just because even though this is a hamstring movement, your calves kind of come into play a little bit. If I don't warm them up, I'll get a little bit of a pinching feeling in the back of my knee. But after, like, you know, just 3 sets of those, not working sets either, just kind of warming them up. You know, I did the stack for 10-ish. Took a minute, went a little heavier, did a few, went a little heavier. So now I'm comfortable throwing the stack around. Instead of starting off with a light squeezing movement, or a light squeezing style, you know, this is the full stack. Really going to try to put as much tension on the hamstrings as possible. And I don't mind taking it to a point where I'm barely doing any partials. Like, I'm not going to say you won't make substantial, say, muscular stimulation if you do a set and you don't go to complete failure. You know, I've tried styles like that where, you know, I take like the 50-pound dumbbells, whatever, just do 10 reps, put it down, do 10 again, put it down, like that sort of style. And I still get a crazy pump. But for the most part, I want to take everything to failure. I really don't love seeing the posts where it's some dude talking and he's like, you do not, or no, he's like, you cannot train to fit every set. I kind of think you're just being a baby. So let's throw this shit around. Let's do 3 more just like that. Oh. Oh my God. One more. Okay. Yeah, that's enough of that. When it comes to RDLs, I don't consider these a movement where I'd want to go really heavy and like try to move around as much weight as possible. It's more of like a squeezing movement, in my opinion. So even though it is the whole stack on either side, I'm really not getting any lower back or glute activation. It's pretty much all hamstrings. Now, when it comes to actually flexing your hamstrings, like on their own, manually mind muscle connection style, your guess is as good as mine. You know, you really just have to learn it. One cue that might help you, maybe, that I sort of think of, when I do these, I have my feet, you know, together, heels and toes. And as I go down, I imagine trying to pull my knees together and backwards. So maybe, I mean, if that helps you, whatever. I couldn't feel my hamstrings working in RDLs for years. So I didn't do them as a beginner. But eventually, once I got the feel for them, now I like throwing them in a little bit. Oh. Yeah, let's just do one more and then finish with lighter single leg leg curl. Oh. Ooh. I definitely would not advise you just totally skip RDLs, but until you can really manually flex your hamstrings, I think it wouldn't be very difficult for you to end up just working your glutes and lower back. So I'd call this more of a intermediate movement. So let's go do some lighter squeezing single leg curls, and then we can get quads started. All right, so for these last 2 sets, I mean, in my mind, I feel like I've definitely hit hamstrings with some heavy weight, and they're pretty much fully pumped. I just want to add the finishing touches. So these 2 sets, I mean, I'm doing less than half the stack, single leg, so considerably lighter than the double stack with both legs. And I'm not just trying to throw the weight around, I'm being a bit more intentional. And it may not look like it, but for me, it'll feel like I hold the weight at the top. Then I go back down, hold it, just get an extra little squeeze, right? I always talk to Earl I don't always talk about it, but I always think about this when I'm doing dumbbell curls. Even when I'm doing like, you know, a lot of weight, but lightweight especially, don't just do the rep, get to the top and finish, and then take the tension off. Same thing with preachers. Like when you get to this top of the movement, just try to get a little extra oomph out of the rep, just a slight squeeze. For you, it should feel like you're holding it and pausing the way to the top, even if it doesn't look like it. So 2 of these, and then I can already see the leg extension is open. Hopefully it stays that way. Okay. All right. Oh, hamstrings complete. Let's jump on the leg extension. Before I ever jump onto, well, my first working set of the leg extensions, I need to warm up. And not just because I want my quads to be a little bit fresher. Like, you're gonna be stronger after activating the muscle a couple of times. Like, you're definitely not gonna be strong. Well, for one thing, you should just never jump into a 1 rep max. But after actually warming up the muscle and getting some blood in the area, you're gonna be stronger. But one of the main reasons why I want to warm up leg extensions light is because my knees will just be fucking on fire if I try to jump up to a heavy weight. You know, my quads themselves, I wouldn't be worried about like pulling anything if I just jumped onto the whole stack. Like, it's a little different than like a heavy squat. Like, physically, I could throw the stack around a couple times, fine. I wouldn't pull my fucking quads. But my fucking knees, my whole patella, this whole little system, it would be on fire. You know, similar with triceps. Like, physically, I could do heavy pushdowns with the whole stack, no warm-up, and I wouldn't be concerned about like tearing my tricep or anything like that. But, you know, it's a lot of pressure on your tendons, or I guess not pressure, it'd be tension. But, you know, before any kind of heavy whatever, I always just start off light, get my knees warmed up. Because, I mean, just walking up the fucking stairs to come in here, I could feel my knees just a little, right? Before you do anything crazy, you know, make sure you warm up. And don't just write off a body part because it's kind of tender, and don't do your warm-up, right? Like, I'll hear guys talking smack about like, oh, dude, fucking tricep, my triceps always kill me. I never go crazy on triceps. I do just a little. It's like, did you do a 10-minute tricep warm-up doing single arm extensions? More than likely not. You know, you can, well, what do you think warming up means? It's not just an arbitrary activity pre-lift, right? It's preparing whatever body part you're about to hit to handle, right, some serious force. Well, ideally some serious force. So I'm going to sit here for another, I mean, geez, 5 minutes, maybe a little more. Just go back and forth, single leg, gradually increase the weight until I feel like I'm, you know, at a weight that I'd be comfortable with doing a working set with, and then we can get started. A little more than half the stack will be good for some single leg sets to start off with. If the stack went heavier, then I wouldn't mind doing double leg, but while I'm fresh, you know, to an extent, I want to go as heavy as I can on these. I have gone a little bit too heavy in the past and kind of like pulled something up here just a little bit. So I've kind of learned through experience to use a little bit of restraint with a leg extension. But with this weight, I can do some pretty reasonable controlled reps, and it's heavy enough that I'll get fatigued after like probably 10 with a full flex at the top, right? And then I'll be able to just burn out with some partials before I have to rack it. So maybe 2 of these. You know, I'll do as many as I can single leg until I get weak enough where the stack will be a good weight for double leg. And then maybe I'll do some other kind of pressing supersets or drop sets or whatever. But, you know, for the most part, we're just going to sit here for a little while.
A little heavier for the next one. Two more. God damn, I'm trying to pull up a fucking song. It doesn't want to load. Here we go. Okay. Let's do some double leg with the full stack now. I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the lift, man. Leg extensions are feeling on point. One more. I'm not a massive fan of belts. Like, I don't use a belt on squat or bent over rows. I just don't like the added pressure it gives to my fucking midsection. I feel like it's just gonna give me a fucking hernia. But there is a place for belts, like strapping myself in for these leg extensions, so I don't have to fucking hold my body down. I can just use the belt to keep my hips in the same position. Whew. So one more, then we're freaking done, man. I love leg extensions. You know, I'm not like a massive advocate of like free weights over machines. You know, they've got benefits and drawbacks, either one. But my favorite part about these leg extensions, the hamstring curls too, is to an extent, I don't really have to think about anything except for just trying to go crazy. You know, when I'm doing barbell bench, I gotta make sure I'm pretty strict. I don't want the bar wobbling over here, like falling on my face or like dropping it, whatever. Same thing with squats. You know, I'm putting a serious amount of effort, even if it doesn't feel like it, into maintaining good form. You know, I'm not a fucking perfect form advocate, but obviously I don't want to do a set with such atrocious form that I fucking tweak something unnecessarily. Not that you should ever need to tweak anything, but whatever. But with leg extensions or the machine curl, you know, machine press a little bit, you still got to be kind of careful. All I get to think about is strapping myself in and just fucking burning out. So, makes it easier on me. But one more. Oh. Okay. That wasn't so hard, right? Let's go check the pump, man. I am ready to get home and eat something. Ooh. 3 more weeks of this carb depleted bull crap. And then we can start getting bulked up. I'm already getting excited just thinking about it. All right. Let's get the exposure down a little. The lighting isn't ideal in here because it's real bright all around. Ideally, I want just one light and then the rest of them off. But what are you gonna do? I'm still just as pumped as I would be in fancy lighting. But, you know, I do kind of want the illusion of extra size and striations from a spotlight. So let's just make this quick. Ooh. Definitely. Something about my fucking left quad. All my veins get, like, just biased to that one. Oh, dude, sick. Yeah, I really want a huge hamstring kind of hanging around the back like that. We're definitely getting somewhere. Oh, yeah. Eesh. Hamstrings, any? Probably not. Well, my hamstrings are pumped. They kind of lose some of that cool little separation. All right, but legs are now complete. I'm technically staying past close. Oh, it's like 8:05. They closed at 8. So let's just get in the car so I don't get in trouble. And another leg day is complete. Even if it wasn't extremely interesting. But, you know, I don't mind just sitting on the leg extension and the leg curl. In all honesty, I kind of want to convert my little basement gym, because right now, when it's like, I don't know, let's say it's yay big. Half of it is my bedroom. I just have a bed down there. And then the other half is just a little bit of free weights in the rack. I probably won't do it just because I need somewhere to sleep when I'm at home at my parents' house. But if I just had a leg extension and a hamstring curl down there that I liked, I mean, I could just do legs at home, you know? I'd say legs are probably the most difficult muscle to train without equipment, right? Chest, if I'm really strapped, hey man, I could do a body weight chest workout and get a pump somehow by way of fucking, I don't know, household objects, push-ups, whatever. With back, you know, maybe I got some pull-ups of some variety. I don't know, get 2 chairs together and put a broomstick in between, do some like body weight rows, like, you know, where you're kind of laying down backwards, almost like an inverted push-up. Biceps, obviously, you can just curl some random shit at the house. Same with shoulders. Triceps, maybe lay down, do some single arm skull crushers with something. But legs, dude, fucking, I don't know if you can build an insane set of legs without machines or, let's say, equipment. I'm not saying it's impossible, but, you know, how are you going to hit your hamstring with just your body weight? Unless you do some, oh, well, there's that one kind of weird move where, like,
you lay down on like hard floor, like, I don't mean tile, I mean like linoleum or like a basketball court with just socks on, and you kind of do like a leg curl and you raise your hips in the air. We're getting into some real interesting whatever. Let's start talking a little more normally. I just posted a poll and I was like, how many years have you been lifting? And I did less than 1 year, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years, and then 5 years or more. And it was like 35-ish% year or less, 30-ish% 1 to 2 years, and then like 15% 3 to 4, and then like 20% 5 plus, which doesn't really surprise me. I mean, that sounds about right. So, anybody that's in that kind of more experienced demographic, for the most part, I would hope you guys have a pretty solid amount of experience. You just haven't been doing the exact same routines over and over. You've made some legit progress. But, you beginner guys, right? When I say some shit that may be a little bit more, let's just say, targeted towards like the more developed lifter, don't just listen to everything I'm saying and be like, okay, this is a fact. Sam said it. That's how it's done. Right? No, like, your best bet as a fucking beginner is just take in information from all sorts of sources, and then, try to use your best judgment, or maybe talk to some more experienced lifters that in person, right? Ask them for their 2 cents on certain, rep schemes or styles or whatever, Like, if I were to kind of condense my advice to the beginner, right, I'd say, do your push-pull legs, your Arnold split. Honestly, probably push-pull legs is a basic starter. It's not like doing a specific kind of split that's more complicated is going to be better for you. Just, do your push-pull legs, get comfortable doing barbell bench, right? Build up some training experience, figure out what a pump feels like, and most of that stuff, like, sure, it's cool to watch videos of people explaining how to do things. A classic example, I mean, this was the shit I was watching. I remember watching Jeff Nippert videos as if I was fucking studying for a class. I wasn't taking notes per se, but I was like using what he was saying to like write out specific workout splits, right? I'm not really a huge scientific whatever advocate, because I mean, whatever, just go to the gym and lift, but a lot of good information over there. As a beginner, that's what you should be doing, right? Just try to get info, but watching videos and just listening to people talk, like, it's valuable, but it's not even close to as valuable as just actually getting your hands-on experience in the gym, right? You could watch 10 hours of YouTube videos of lifters explaining shit. And I mean, I feel like it would be maybe not that much less valuable, but it's definitely not going to be as, well, I'm just trying to say that it's going to be better for you to be able to just go to the gym with maybe an older dude that you're buddies with, or maybe not even older, but just someone who's been training for a legit amount of time, who you'd consider reasonably experienced and knowledgeable, right? And just have him sort of take you under his wing, give you some tips and whatever. And I mean, I've had guys who are, older than me, more advanced than me, have been lifting for longer, way bigger. And I mean, they'll tell me some shit. And for the most part, I want to keep a very open mind, because I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking huge. He's got something to say. I'm listening. I want to know what he's got to say. Right? And then sometimes, I mean, I'll hear some shit from even real experienced dudes, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I don't know if I really believe that. Right? So, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket every time you listen to somebody tell you some shit and be like, this is how it's done. There's no other way. Right? Because at the end of the day, I've been bringing this up a lot in probably almost every car talk. Maybe I should stop talking about it. But you can see a fucking jacked dude who's been doing CrossFit workouts, full body every day. And you can see a jacked dude who's been doing bodybuilding training, or you can see I've been seeing clips of like Olympic lifters, dudes doing the snatch and the clean and jerk shit like that. And they look like a fucking bodybuilder, right? You can develop your body in all sorts of freaking ways. And, by that same logic, right, your body can handle a lot of fucking stress, dude. We didn't evolve over, however many years, actually, how many has it been, do you think? Dinosaurs were like 60 million. So maybe however many years the Homo sapien bloodline is developed, you don't really get to be the pinnacle creature of a fucking planet. And, you know, you're just going to die after training for 4 days in a row, right? That may be just a little bit of a personal thing, but, you know, I'll say this. If I were to have taken a rest day every week for this entire time that I've been lifting, you know, day one to now, I think I'd probably be about the same size. I don't think I'd be a considerable amount bigger at all or a considerable amount smaller. But I've never really just been into rest days, you know? It's like I'll take a rest day if I physically need rest. You know, if I'm like really seriously exhausted, and typically that's only if there's like a extra level of a situation, like if I'm sick or if I got like zero sleep for whatever reason or, you know, whatever, right? That's pretty much the only time I'm going to take a rest day if I really feel like I need rest, you know? If I'm going to wake up tomorrow, my legs are going to be fucking sore. But guess what? I haven't hit chest in 3 days. My chest is ready to get thrashed, you know? And even if you are feeling a little bit tired, dude, there's a difference between being actually like exhausted and being, you know, just kind of tired because you've been laying down in bed for a little while and you're not really feeling that motivated to get up. You know, I've been lifting for a pretty long time and I'll still have days, especially when I have a lot of, you know, extra responsibilities during the day and I don't get to just chill and be perfectly prepared for the lift. You know, even I'll still have fucking days where I'm like, oh, geez, I'm so fucking tired. But then you get in the car, you take your pre-workout, the caffeine starts to kind of hit you. And then even if I'm still tired after that, once I do my first 2 sets, I'm in the zone. Like, I think it was, I don't remember. It's usually on a leg day. Legs must just hit me a little bit harder. But, you know, I'll do my first actual working set and I might still be out of the zone. But just after doing that one, something about the environment will kind of click for me. And I'm like, all right, let's get fucking real. Come on. This was a green light. And then a guy stopped and let a guy turn left. That's fucking weird. But you get what I'm saying, you know? You should kind of have that itch to perform when you're in the gym. And I guess if you're a beginner, you know, maybe you don't have that yet just because you're not completely comfortable in the space. Like, I kind of forgot that the gym can be intimidating for people. I was just talking to somebody and they were saying, oh, you know, I'm actually going to lift a little bit later today because I'm going to bring my friend in and lift with them because they're kind of a little bit nervous about lifting. I haven't thought about that for a long time. Yeah. So I guess there's definitely there's a huge subsection of people who part of the reason why they haven't started lifting is just the intimidation factor. I kind of feel like we're past that, you know, like people in the gym now, you know, everybody's so, you know, I don't think anybody really wants to be mean to anyone else right now. Just kind of the social climate of what's acceptable. You know, I hardly see, honestly, I never see anybody call out a beginner for whatever reason. You know, I think that's more of like an early 2000s thing when the gym used to be a little bit more of a subculture. If you're worried about people fucking looking at you funny or whatever, or judging you because you're a beginner, dude, I think that's fucking all in your head, you know? We're getting into some philosophy there. You're going to suffer more in your mind than you ever will in reality. And that applies to all aspects of life. But I'm going to get home, eat some kind of something. Oh, let me do a little bit of a conclusive statement. So if that's you, if you're worried about going to the gym, all I got to tell you is you're not going to have a problem, right? You're just freaking out. Get in there, look up some kind of fitness influencer's chest day. If you've never lifted before, just fucking copy whatever they do, get some experience and get started. I can guarantee after a few weeks of doing that, you're going to feel a bazillion times more comfortable in the gym. But home, food, I meant to take my vitamins in the morning, but I freaking forgot, so I'll take them now. And then I'll rest up for cardio in the morning and then chest later tomorrow. I'm freaking getting excited for chest, man. I love a chest pump. So I will see you next time.